By the way, this is for Lynn's. This is the 8th monitor right here.
Oh, that's the 8th.
That's the 8th monitor right here. This is the BRG Podcast for January 4th, 2016. I am your host, WarpedJester, aka JP, and with me tonight I have got an extra special person, and I don't mean like special like the helmet wearing kind, I mean actually like, you know, cool cat, ADDF Toxic.
Hello.
Just hello. I was expecting.
Just hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello, everybody. See,
he
has a way he does things, people, and then he screws it up. I'm just saying.
And then there's Ruark, who just completely announces that he butchered his intro, like every episode.
You mean like what I just did? Oh yeah. Anyways, so Tox is one of our long-term BRG members. He's done a lot of Minecraft videos in the past. We did a whole lot on the old M80 server. You kind of dropped out after that. As soon as we got the Cherry Bomb server started, you kind of went off on your own to explore other avenues, and we'll definitely talk about a whole bunch of that. But do you have anything to say for yourself beyond that, mister? I'm going to build a Metro Center.
No, I have nothing to say.
Fair enough.
Send me a glare.
I will give you one hell of a good glare. Let's get a screenshot of that and just put it on your desktop.
But I have Wally on my desktop.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so as you may or may not know, this is only the second episode of the BRG Podcast. This is a podcast where we go through a lot of the gaming news or gaming-related or technology-related type news. We try to stick to the gaming realm. However, we do try to kind of foray into other things now and then. So we'll be kind of going through the headlines, give you a little brief what for on what's going on in the world, and then we'll go ahead and drop into our topic piece, which is going to be a really fun one today, so stay tuned for that. So that said, let's go ahead and hit the headlines. Okay, so go ahead and start us off here. This is kind of a fun one I had to put in the lineup here. Guy beats Fallout 4 without killing anyone, nearly breaking the game. I don't know about breaking the game here, but I love this because there's actually, when they had some interviews with people regarding Fallout 4 before it came out, one of the quotes that actually got noted in there was that Todd Howard, one of the main devs, said that Fallout 4 would give players the option to take a less violent approach to life in the wastelands, which is really, really neat. Except, I don't think they quite meant it this way. So, this guy actually went through the entirety of the game without actually taking a life. Now, he did incur death and loss because he would instigate situations, but he actually just get through the whole thing, and he actually has on his YouTube channel, which is Weirdest Builds on YouTube, and I'll have the notes down below. Now, I just want to point out here, just for the kicks and giggles of it, I know this guy. I actually camped with him at Burning Man, so it's like I heard about this before anybody else had gotten wind of it, so that was kind of neat. So yeah, so you can actually play Fallout 4 without actually killing anybody, Tox.
Sounds like fun. And
look at all the awesome guns you can customize now in this game. I'm not gonna fire it once.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never played Fallout. I've never really had much interest in playing Fallout. But if you are interested in playing Fallout, it's discounted in Steam Winter Sale.
Yes, this is what I'm looking forward to.
For $49, what does that say? $49.99 on Steam, obviously, and that sale is expiring on January 4th.
Today. Yay. Well, Not today, because today we're recording as the first. But yeah, by the time this comes out, it's gonna be the fourth. So sorry.
You got time for this, Warped?
I've got time. I wish I had the money. I'll be honest with you. It's a fun
There's
game. And I love it to bits and pieces. It's fun to watch, though. I'm not really sure I could actually sit down and actually do the actual game itself. I would probably go stark or even mad. These games especially, too, it drives me nuts because there's a way to play games when you're just playing games, and there's a way to play games when you're doing recording. And I would want to play this game just to play it, which means less time for me to do other things. So the other slight itsy-witsy little problem with that is we're talking about a download on Steam, which Steam kind of had that little itty-bitty problem last week with the whole logging onto your Steam account and seeing other people's personal information. VentureBeat actually reports that basically Steam has piped up and apologized for the catastrophe, or as they put it, catastrophe. But basically what they're saying is it turns out that there was a distributed denial of service, or a DDoS cyber attack, that caused a caching error, which in turn caused people to see private information from other Steam members. I'm not that... I mean, I work in IT, but I'm not that tech savvy, so I'm a little bit confused as to exactly how that happened, but okay. Oops. But at least they've...
I understand what happened. I just don't understand how it happened.
Yeah, I'm very confused in that. But apparently, from what they're saying, is during the second wave of this attack, a second caching configuration was deployed that was incorrectly caching web traffic for authenticated users. This configuration error resulted in some users seeing Steam store responses which were generated from other users. So, I mean, from what I can dredge up looking into this a little bit, it doesn't seem to be quite that manic, but still, nonetheless, it's like, I don't know how in the hell they could have mussed this one, but boy, did they.
Can't help you there.
No idea.
No idea.
Yes.
So, yeah, are there... You think there are other places that you can go if you don't trust Steam? Of course there are.
Of course there is.
There's a lot of places. GOG, Gamersgate, Amazon Game Studios, which I think I heard of, but never really registered. Origin, Green Man Gaming, Uplay, Games for Windows Live. Does that count? I don't know.
It may way. There's a lot of groups like this now. It's not just Steam. Steam certainly is one of the well-known leaders, but yeah, like you said, there's all these different ones. Origin is EA specifically.
Yep.
Uplay is Ubisoft. Amazon does have the gaming studio, but it's kind of limited to what it has. But there are other alternatives out there, and it's worth keeping your eye out for these because some games, they may be on different sites or have a better deal on them. So definitely keep a look out there. I will say for sure. It's nice. I mean, it's nice having Steam where you can download stuff. But that said, it's kind of annoying because the Steam interface itself, I find to be absolutely deplorable. Navigation of it's annoying. And I poked around Gamersgate, which sounds horrible now because of Gamergate. I use Origin for Titanfall, and I poked around Green Man, and I hate to say it, but Steam's one of the better ones for interface.
Yeah. So, the one that I've had experience with GOG, which actually stands for Good Old Games. I've never bought anything there because I tend to still have...
Oh my god, physical media!
Yeah, old copies of old games here.
Well, Grandpa Talks is going to talk about back in the day when I had physical media. Wow, Grandpa.
No, but one thing I will say, from what I've seen, GOG does a better job with these old games. I've seen reviews of this thing on Steam, Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and people say that it's just dumped on Steam and doesn't actually work. Whereas you go to GOG and they've actually tested it for modern systems, and the thing actually works.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sure there's perks and downfalls everywhere.
For sure. And it's all covered in that article.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, you can definitely go over there and you can check out what games they have on tap. And this is actually a good time for it because it's the end of the year. And there's a lot of the end of the year sales, not just through Steam, but through these other groups as well, which is actually a good time for it. As a matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of really good articles for the just kind of the end of the year wrap up for 2015. I actually put a whole list of different kind of 2015 highlights, if you will. So there's fantastic games of the year. There's Gaming Guys top 10 console games, etc. So I'll have all these links in the show notes. But it's good. It's a good time to go back, kind of reminisce of the years past. For me personally, I did a little Minecraft, doing a lot of stuff with BRG. Got into World of Warships, something fierce. That I did not expect that game to draw me in. I actually went to go install World of Tanks. Figured I might pick that up as something to do recording for, and saw, oh, they have World of Warships. What's this? It's in beta. And I checked it out and just fell in love with it. So that's what I've been doing for a good chunk of this year at least. So, what about you, Tox?
Well, this year I've been spending a lot of time not gaming.
Yeah.
A little bit of Minecraft, maybe some Crypt of the Necrodancer every once in a while, or Gmod when work invites me. But a lot of the stuff it is a very fun game. But a lot of the stuff that I've been doing is working on making music instead, because that's kind of been my interest lately.
Yeah,
that and moving into my own.
I've been enjoying listening to those, by the way.
Thanks.
So that's very cool stuff. And of course, this wouldn't be complete being that this is going to be, the first day of the new year here. So in addition to all of the lists they have for the wrap up of 2015, what else?
We have also a list of an anticipation list of 2016 gaming. I messed up the order of words in my sentence.
Little Yoda you have in you.
A little. By the way, I have not seen that yet. I have not seen The Force Awakens. I want to, though.
The Enterprise blows up, by the way.
Spoilers!
Anyways, yes. I'm sorry, Tox. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So there'll be a list of articles that some guy named WarpedJester has found. They're all listed in the show notes.
Yes.
And meanwhile, I'll be sitting around making music. Avoiding these guys again.
There's nothing you're looking forward to in 2016?
Not really.
You are nothing but just absolutely just inspiring, I must say. No, but
I know.
There's actually some really cool articles in here regarding, again, anticipation. It's not just games per se. There are some lists of upcoming games, but it's also some tech and other things that are going on. They talk about VR and where VR is going, because VR is starting to pick up the pace a lot. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Not sure how.
Good point. That's something I've been kind of thinking about lately too.
See, there's stuff out there.
See, my brain doesn't always come up with things like that when I'm asked them, though. That's my problem. I'll think about it an hour later. It's like, oh yeah, I could have answered that question with that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I've actually looked at the list of games. They had the anticipated games of 2016, and it's like I've gone through like 40 of them. It's like meh, 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 meh. And don't get me wrong, please. I'm not insulting any of the games. It's just things like The Witcher 3 or the next version of whatever else. I'm sure they're great games. I've never really sat down and played RPGs that much. I guess this is because they're single player games, and I like doing online stuff and collaborative stuff. So,
yeah.
What can I say?
I don't play RPGs because I suck at them. Although I do enjoy the Tales of games, which I play with my sister.
Fair enough. But yes, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. But I am looking forward to the tech. And like I said, the VR is going to be interesting. I'm a big tech head, so looking forward to that. Actually, speaking of tech, VentureBeat reports that Google has confirmed that the next version of Android, which is going to be Android N, which I haven't gotten the name for yet, is actually going to be replacing Oracle's Java with the open source version of Oracle's Java. So, I mean, it's not... If you're a programmer, that might be interesting of sorts. I'm not. Like I said, I'm IT. I'm not a code monkey. But I just find this interesting because this kind of follows in the wake of the big dust up year or two ago over Oracle trying to sue Google over APIs as what were they claiming? It was intellectual property or something. I can't remember. But
sounds like Earth.
Huh?
Sounds like Earth.
Yeah. So I mean, I just find that kind of interesting because this is kind of inevitable push away from relying on somebody else's code and going with either an open source or your own homebred. And at this point, I don't need more people's take, their own personal take on something. Just go with the standard, Babel. Go with the standard. So I'm glad they're going with this.
That's a cool webpage you got there, Warped.
Thank you. I clicked on a link. I didn't mean to. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, okay.
Segue talk. Segue.
Segue. Yes, I'm really bad at this. I keep thinking I'm watching your show.
No, the tall tale sign here is I'm not talking over myself. So therefore,
right.
It can't be two of me.
So yeah, on the topic that came across earlier, Star Wars.
I just find this kind of funny because it's just it's George Lucas putting his foot in his mouth, and I don't know. I actually watched the video. It's about 15 minutes into this video on Hulu, where George Lucas makes this wonderful comment, and to quote, "These are my kids. I love them. I created them. I'm very intimately involved with them, and I sold them to the white slavers that takes these things." And he kind of tippers off there, and then tries to laugh it off. This is a direct reference to Disney.
Backpedal.
It's like, yes, Disney is a bunch of white slavers. Somebody's a little bit salty, I think. Just saying. But yeah, I could not resist putting this in because it kind of goes into the whole media bite thing, and I figured this was kind of timely to bring up just because with the new movie Force Awakens that came out, no spoilers or anything like that. This was kind of a good timely thing for it. To that note, and to the Force Awakens again, no real spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, go see the movie. Then check this out. If you have seen it, definitely check this out. Polygon has actually kind of done a list of top memes, 14 best memes, top memes for TR-8R stormtroopers. He goes by the name Traitor basically because of this a designation. This is a background character of sorts, a quick scene character that has become infinitely famous. He's got his own Facebook. He's probably got a Twitter by now.
Again, sounds like Earth.
Yeah, Dorkly.com actually has a blog post, the 14 best Trader memes on it. So if you want to have some fun, definitely check out this article and check this dude out. He's absolutely flipping hilarious. So it's great. Anyway, so that's gonna wrap up our headlines here. Again, our headlines try to do a quick list down the news of the week for gaming and gaming-esque related or media related type stuff. If you guys have any input, questions, or comments, or if you think we missed something, do let us know. And of course, likewise, if new topics are coming up, you can actually post to our forum page at ballrocketgaming.com and actually say, hey, this is a news article you should probably bring up in your next podcast. So I'd happily take that. I am going to go ahead and take a quick break here and actually want to talk a little about our wonderful, our illustrious, our great site, which is Ball Rocket Gaming. Again, I am biased, of course. I am one of the founders and one of the members. I'm not just representative. I'm a member. No. BRG is Ball Rocket Gaming Group. We are a gaming collective, and it's almost kind of getting a little bit off the say gaming collective per se, because really and honestly, there's a whole lot of people there. As I said last time, we've got all kinds of content creation people, including like Talks here, does music, map makers, etc. But we do try to create an environment in this collective for creativity, for collaboration, and all the other wonderful things that go with it. And to that point, of course, nothing runs for free. we try to be as skinful as much as possible to make things work for us. But if anybody ever wants to help out, you're certainly welcome to. And I certainly encourage you to go over to the Patreon page at patreon.com/BottleRocketGaming and check us out here. We've got pledges for $1, pledges for $5, and we'll have more pledges, more goals coming up in the future here. But feel free to throw some money at this. It really helps out not just the gaming collective itself, but all the people inside of it, so to speak. We're going to do our best to utilize all the cash that we do get to help facilitate and help everybody who's a part of our community, so we can connect people and let people grow and expand. So that's kind of where we're at. So definitely head over there. And of course, you can always head over to BottleRocketGaming.com. You can find our links there as well. Right on the main page, you can do a one-time donation via PayPal, or you can find the link to head over to the Patreon site if you want to do recurring. So we really appreciate it. So thanks so much in advance.
Get out of guest mode.
Wow. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our topic piece for today. Now, as I said, this is one of the things about the podcast here. We try to go through the news headlines and do a little quick touch up on what's going on in the gaming world. But there's usually a topic piece or a news bite that we really want to expand and talk a little more on. Sometimes they're very new in the press. Sometimes they're a little bit older. But in any case, the things we definitely want to talk about. So the one I actually want to bring up today is the thing called Sesame Credit. And this is basically, well, as you can see here from Game Politics, they're calling it Chinese propaganda game. So to try to give you an idea about this, basically what it boils down to is it is a kind of an interactive, I don't know how to explain this best. You know how you can use like Foursquare and go check in places and become the mayor? It's a kind of gamification of something. This is the gamification of being a good citizen or a subservient citizen in a society, in this case China. It is really built around trying to make people subservient. And what I mean by this is, think of your credit report. And for us, we have our credit report that is strictly reflective on how good we are about what debt we have, our recurring debt being paid off, etc. And that's where it ends. This goes a whole lot of shades worse. Well, deeper. I'll just say deeper for the moment. We'll decide on what's better or worse later. But basically, this goes beyond that. It's not just what you're purchasing in terms of your credit, have you paid off your loans and so on. This also attaches a value or score to what it is you're buying. Are you buying things that are appropriate for the great nation of China and its government? Are you buying things that are appropriate? It even will tap into your social networking. So if I'm, a person with a low score and talks as friended with me on Facebook, it's actually going to drop his good score because I'm a dissident. And so it'll actually drop his score, and they don't point it out. It'll actually say, hey, this person is dragging your ass down. You should probably cut him loose. So this is what this thing is for. If you want a really good explanation or a really great explanation, I highly encourage that you go ahead and head over to Extra Credit Gaming on YouTube. It's just Extra Credits on YouTube. Look them up. First of all, they're a great site. They're a great YouTube channel to watch. They get a lot of good game insight, gameplay, and the depth behind it. But what's really neat is they do a really good job explaining the detail of how this works. And it's really, really fascinating. I mean, and I know Talks, I kind of like hit you out of left field with this just today. But you've watched a little bit of the Extra Credits. I wanted to see what your opinion was on it.
Sounds like a bunch of puppets and their master. Micromanaging them.
There you go. Talks is a very clear view on this. I'm excited to agree with you. I personally, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, but I'll say up front, I really don't have a lot of love for the People's Republic of China because I don't like any environment that has any sort of squelching of free speech. Now, I'm not a geopolitical person. I don't know a lot of details beyond what I learned about and what I took the time to actually try to understand. But it boils down to is anywhere there's an environment where anybody is squelched from what they want to do just because the government thinks it's not so good. And we're talking about realistic things like protest. I have a problem with that. So I could definitely see this being a problem. But that said, one thing I will say that I really do enjoy about the idea of this is this actually employs the idea of a gamification for population self-government in a sense. So the idea is to kind of help nudge people in the right direction through public encouragement. There's no really polite way to say this, but sometimes some people don't respond to fines, don't respond to even jail time, but they'll respond to public shaming. I know that sounds horrible.
Yeah. This is where it comes in, like everything in moderation. Okay, yes, understanding your good points there, but then you take it really far and you get this.
Yeah, definitely. If they left this at a more reasonable level in terms of how things were scored, so to speak, it'd be fine. One of the examples they give is, well, I buy a lot of video games because I enjoy video games, but those are frowned upon because that's not a good, productive, nature. So those will actually drop your score. Well,
you are not allowed to have fun.
Pretty much. Well, hey, if you're gaming, you're not being productive, so that's a bad thing. So that's exactly what you're talking about. As you go to the extreme, all of a sudden that's a bad thing. But if you take an idea like this, gamification of social ability, that can't have pros. It's one of those things of hey, if you're here's a great example. If you're a hideous driver, you don't use your blinkers, you cut people off, you're finger out the window all the time at people. If people could tag that and you start getting a consensus of people constantly reporting you saying, hey, this dude's driving like a jackass, that can go against the karma. And it'll kind of encourage you to maybe slow down, don't drive like an asinine person, and maybe encourage you to actually be a little more polite about it, because then people see the consequence of their actions, which is a lot of times what's missed.
I also kind of see a consequence in that, though, because see, I don't remember where I was going with that sentence. If you're being credited for reporting these bad drivers, then you're gonna report them for like a centimeter out of the center of their lane or something like that, and it just gets crazy with things like that if you go too far with that kind of thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, moderation.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree with you, man. And like I said, to be very clear, I don't condone this. I don't support this. And that's one of the things I haven't mentioned yet, but this is one of the critical things that kills me, is right now this is kind of a beta test. So there are select citizens that are allowed to opt in and try this out. But that said, as of 2020, as in the year 2020, this becomes mandatory for all citizens of China. And this is especially devious because if they're going to be doing a beta test of this, they're probably cherry picking the people they're giving this out to, and these are people who are diehard government loyalists that are going to go around and say all kinds of good things about it. It doesn't matter if it smells like poo; they'll talk it up and make sure it's the best thing in the world, and really try to encourage other people to really think it's a great idea. And then it becomes mandatory, and of course at that point you're railroaded, you're pigeonholed right into it.
So they're testing with the people who are going to give it good reviews, and then to give it to the people who give it bad reviews.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sounds about logical.
I gotta be honest with you. For the type of government that China is known to be, this is incredibly brilliant. It really is, the way they're rolling it out in the test environment with select people, and then a nice easy roll into mandatory use of it after everybody's kind of comfortable with it. This is great because you don't have this thing like out of nowhere left field, oh, we're doing this now, you better do it. It's, hey, look, it's a fun gamification of life. It's showing you how good you're getting, how patriotic you're being to your country, and all this good stuff, and hurrah. And it kind of ease people into it, and then it becomes a mandatory thing. And at that point, like you said, you're kind of can't say much about it because, God, if you pipe up and say something negative about it, there goes your score.
Yeah.
So
you get a glare.
Exactly. And extra credits even themselves say, I want to believe that we have the wrong idea about this. And if there's anybody who knows more about this, or if you're from China and you've experienced this program and you have a different take on it, please chime in and let us know, because I would love to be proven wrong. That's exactly what they say in extra credits, and I agree with them. If I'm wrong about this, my God, let me know. I personally love the gamification of life, because it's things I'm already doing. If I have a little more fun with it, that's great. I mean, I played Google's Ingram, or in whatever the hell that damn game is. You actually go around real world places to attack these nodes and do stuff.
Kind of like Pokemon Go.
What? We can't say things like that on this podcast. This is PG-13, man.
Almost knocking back
there. Anyways, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gamification from, hey, take care of your email box and get points, or, like I said, Foursquare had the check-in system, you can become mayor, and sometimes you got discounts because of it, etc., etc. I love gamification, but again, the problem with those is they are very deliberately tied to whoever creates them. They're the ones that dictate the rules, so to speak. And in this particular case, it's the Chinese government. They like
to make the rules.
They don't have a good track record, in my opinion. Again, I don't live there, but So I'm kind of, I don't know. I just, it makes my skin crawl a little bit. It could be a wonderful thing if it was done by wholesome people, but it's not. So it's going to turn into something kind of bad. And I am so fearful this is going to be our dystopian future. I really do. And the other thing too to keep in mind is this goes into the future. Technology is always improving. And we're getting to a point where we're having easy facial recognition on most any cameras, regardless of the quality of them. Mobile devices, they can send back every little piece of data about us, including our GPS locations, even listen to our conversations, i.e. a la, hey Google, hey Cortana, hey Siri. This could get real ugly real quick. We have these devices with you all the time that collect all this data, sometimes without you even realizing it, and then apply a score to it. My God, you have that one too many sakis and decide to take a wrong turn down the wrong alley and find the wrong woman, and sorry, your score is 0.
It's not technology that we should fear. It's the abuse and misuse of technology that we should fear. Just saying.
Thank you, Tox, and you are absolutely right, and I absolutely agree with you. So bear that in mind. To all my gamer brothers and sisters in China, correct me if I'm wrong, but damn, sucks to be you, and I'm really sorry about this, because I don't know. And don't get me wrong, it's one of those things of, well, it can't be that bad. Well, it kind of is, because this Sesame score that they give you and again, this is the abuse part of it talked about. This can be very detrimental. For example, if you get a really good score, this can open you up to perks, maybe certain kickbacks in terms of some free movie tickets. But it could also be, hey, because you have a score of X, you are allowed access to these privileged job opportunities. So don't bother submitting your resume if your credit's below a certain point, because we're not going to take you. It could even be where you can live. Not only just what jobs you have, where you can live, what you can have access to. Oh, your score's at 300 instead of 500? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut your internet in half for your speeds, because you've been kind of talking mouth, and we don't like that. So you see,
You're spending too much time with that JP guy on Facebook.
Yeah, see, I tell you, you talk to me. Next thing you know, all of a sudden you're getting dial-up speeds. So if Tox's video goes out, all of a sudden you know what happened. in that socialist communism they call Canada. Ah! No! I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Why? Anyways, it's a scary idea. It really does kind of concern me, because I look at it and go, wow, this is a really neat like an ambitious thing you can do with technology, and that fascinates me. But at the same time, like we said, it's just it can get abused in all kinds of ways, and it just is makes me ill just thinking about it. So there's my take on it, and you see where it talks at some things. Mr. Anti-Communism. Horrible. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and move on here. The next segment we actually have a review segment. This one I do a review on the SoundPEATS Q800 Bluetooth headset. I actually have them here with me today. See the things right here. So, all right, me, take it away. Hey everybody, so we're going to be doing a review on the SoundPEATS model Q800 around the neck Bluetooth headset. This headset I've been using for a while now, so I wanted to give you a chance to hear about how it acts in the real world. I'm going to start off with the specs here. Again, this is a round the neck style headset, so it goes around your neck, and then the headphones come off, and you can put those in your ears. The total size is about 17 centimeters by 14 centimeters, or 6.69 inches by 5.51 inches, more or less. Now, this is a flexible band. This is their general settings. This is a Bluetooth 4.0 CRS mesh capable connection. Comes with frustration-free packaging from Amazon, which is really nice, as well as USB to USB micro cable for charging on the charging port. It also comes with 3 sizes of silicone earbuds. I actually use the memory foam type earbuds myself. It's pretty standard, and of course a user manual. It also sports very functional discrete buttons for call, hang up, and answer, volume controls up and down, play pause button, and forward and back buttons, as well as a power slide button on the side. Now, beyond that, it also has magnetic holders, so it can hold the earbuds in place for you, adjustable clips for your wire management, and a micro USB charging port. This also sports a 3.2 volt, 180 milliamp battery. Battery life is advertised at talk time of 15 hours, standby of 500 hours, and music play for 10 hours. Now, for the actual experience and review of this, I've had this for a few months now. I've actually had 2 of them now because my wife got them as well. And I'm going to give a realistic review on this and how I've used them. Now, I'm going to say right up front, these are not top-end, high-quality devices. They run about $21, $22 on Amazon right now, so they are kind of a low cost. But I really like these because for all the ones I've tested in the past, these actually give you pretty good sound quality, battery life, and basically get you a good bang for the buck. Battery life-wise, as advertised, I easily get the time they're spending. Now, I use my headphones a lot. They're always on when I'm having them around my neck, which is all day until I go to bed. And I do a lot of audiobooks, podcasts, and video, as well as talking on them for phone calls. So they have no problem keeping up with me. I will usually get to about half my day, and I'll then hear an audio warning and let me know that basically half-life. So it can easily make it through the day and then some. So they're definitely holding true to that. Audio quality. The audio for this, I primarily use these for, like I said, audiobooks, podcasts, and so on. I'm not a huge music file in this sense because, quite frankly, good audio quality in wireless is hard to do. And I have a tin ear. I've destroyed my ears, so it's really hard to actually give a decent review on that. But I will say they are a little bit tinny on the high end. They kind of lack low end, which is pretty typical for small earbuds like this. It's a typical kind of cheap plastic housing. I'm not going to expect a whole lot of it. Now, that said, I will say that they work great for audio chat. I had no issues listening to podcasts. I also ride my motorcycle with these, so I can actually hear audio even on my motorcycle, which is a pretty loud environment. So these things do really well in that sense. The volume is pretty good. I could be a little louder for me on a motorcycle, but that said, that's asking a whole lot, and that's kind of a unique situation, so I can't say much about that. But again, volume works pretty well, all things considered. Call quality. Again, these are capable of doing calls. There's actually microphones built into the unit, so they can actually talk to people. I have again good clear call quality for myself. I can hear what people are saying without any issues, and I've had them tell me that they can hear just fine as well. This is especially in relation to, for example, the tethered or wired headsets you get that usually come with phones. I've had people tell me the audio quality of these is far, far better than what those wired ones have. So that's a good form for it. Comfort-wise, it's great for normal use. It's not a very stiff and rigid arm here. As you can see, it's very, very flexible. Gives very easily, which is really, really nice. And then these right here, because all the weight's on the around the neck, these are very light and easy to put into your ears. And again, when you're not using them, you can put them back, magnetically. That said, they do tend to fall off if you're, like, for example, on your back. I do IT, so if I lay on my back, I'm under somebody's desk wiring things, these have a habit of kind of slipping off. So that's one kind of pound against them. Yeah, they're comfy, but this is a little bit too flimsy. So if you're on your back, or in my case, you're riding a motorcycle, the wind can actually whip them off a little bit. So a little bit weak there. But again, not too bad. Nothing big enough for me to really give it a pling against it. Functionality. This is where these things shine. What I love about these, first of all, is they have dedicated buttons, as we talked about, for all the functions. So as you can see here, you've got the dedicated call and answer button. This button also lights up when they're on, so that you actually see a blinking blue light. And again, dedicated volume up and down buttons. And on this side, play, pause, and tracks back and forth. Now these buttons are, as you can see, actually molded shaped buttons, and they do have a nice standoff to them, so they're very easy to feel and distinguish, even with gloves on. And again, I ride a motorcycle, so we're talking thick leather gloves. I can distinguish where the buttons are. Now, with the gloves on, I'm not going to be able to tell necessarily what shape they are so much as I can tell where one ends and one starts, and I know which order these go in. So they're very clear, very easy to get to. Because they're discrete, it's not a press and hold for skip or press quickly for volume. They're discrete. They're all separated. That's a big plus for me. I understand that fewer buttons means less parts, means cheaper cost. In this particular case, I'm glad to have these separate. That's a big bonus for me. Again, just an absolute wonderful thing to have. Beyond that, wire management. Wire management has these little clips right here. You can see on the very end. These little clips here are designed to slide up and down this collar to shorten or lengthen the cables. I found that I want them down to the bottom anyway because my head's big, and if I have my head turned completely one way, it won't start tugging on, which is nice to have. Now, the downside to these clips, however, I found, is that these clips here have a habit of actually popping off. They have a little gap on the end of them, and I've actually had them pop off before, so I've ended up just gluing these things in place right here. A little touch of crazy glue, and you're set. Definitely want to keep these on here, however, because if you don't, then you're going to put the stress of the wire back here. Now, these do actually have stress relief inside the cab here, and I'll show you some pictures of the insides of these things so you can see them. But that said, they still don't do quite good enough. So one pair I had, these little retainer clips right here came off, so the wire is tugging directly against the output, and it ended up causing a problem and ended up killing one of the headphones, so they wouldn't work anymore. So that's again, for a $20 headset, I kind of expect issues to happen, to be quite frank and honest. So it is what it is. Additionally to that, when it comes to convenience of these things, it's nice to have a magnetic holding space for these. However, with the headphone edging, especially with these foams on here, these things stick out a good bit, and although they are pretty secure in that they'll hang in there with the little magnetic restraint, they don't do really well getting knocked. And that means when they're around your neck, you get bumped by you brushing your shoulder or just putting a jacket on, they tend to pop off, and at that point they're dangling down, they're getting tugged on, and oftentimes I've lost the tips because of that, since they're not staying up here. I would have liked to have seen them make this recess a little bit deeper so that there's more of this protected. That would have been a big bonus in my opinion. Beyond that, wireless range. Now, Bluetooth typically goes about 10 meters or about 30 feet advertised, so to speak. These go about 7 meters realistically, or 20 to 25 feet. And I call that very good. I mean, realistically, you're never going to get the advertised range, so to speak, without perfectly ideal conditions. But these do really well, all things considered. Because they're around the neck, they have more room. They've got better quality in terms of guts inside of here as opposed to the ones that are all built into the ears. That's why I've had from my experience of testing. So I give them a lot of props for that. Range-wise, like I said, after you get about 7 meters or so, you'll start to get a little bit of interference. You got the receiver on one side, so if you turn the wrong way so that your body is a physical block between the receiver and your phone, then the audio starts to break up on you. Again, this does have CSR mesh built into it, which is really nice. Basically, it's a standard for controlling the Internet of Things. What I like about this more than anything, it's kind of, again, a unique factor, is even when I'm using my phone to cast to Chromecast on my TV, the control buttons here still work. So I can still use the volume and the pause play and skip tracks to control my Chrome. It's kind of like having a remote control around your neck, which is actually really, really nice. So big thumbs up there for that. So that's the kind of long and short of it. Oh, I want to mention too the little side slide here for the on-off. I love this right here because it's easy to feel. It's got a good grip on it, so you can easily move it and slide. So that works out really well. And then the little port for the USB on the inside here. All you need is a little bit of a nail. You can pop it open. You can actually get to the little port, plug it in, I guess, a USB micro. Now, this does not come with its own USB micro or USB charger base. So you're going to have to either plug into your computer or have an alternative regular socket to USB to plug it into. Not a big deal, especially again for this price point. I kind of expect that, but it's one of those things of if you're short on places to plug this thing into, then you have to make the choice of do I plug in my phone or do I plug this in. So, but it does come with its own cable. Keep that in mind. The pros, the big pros for me again, it's lightweight, it's comfortable around the neck because all the hardware is in the neck. You only have the earbuds themselves actually in your ears, and that feels good. I've had ones I've tried where the whole entire mechanics is built into the ears, and it didn't feel right. They were bulky. They feel like they were going to pull out of my ears constantly. These are very, very comfortable because they've got more room. They've got that bigger 180 milliamp hour battery built into them, so they get much longer life. We're talking, again, a full day versus like 3 hours from the other ones I've tested, so that really works out well. Large buttons. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This button style is some of the best I've ever seen with any of these around the neck type systems. And this includes the high-end LGs and whatnot that are in the $80 price point, give or take. This is by far and away the best. So I absolutely love this. And again, if you ride a motorcycle or a bicycle or whatever, I cannot recommend these enough. They're very, very comfortable, easy to access through gloves. So this is a really, really, really big plus for people who ride. Cost, again, they're about $20 to $22 on Amazon right now. I tend to go for this type of range of cost for items because, quite frankly, no matter how well these things are built, paying $100 for them, inevitably either they're going to break or I'm going to lose them. So a $20 price point for a wireless Bluetooth headset really works out well. So I appreciate that. And again, the range does really well up to about 25 feet. So I can't scoff at that. It's actually nice. And this is a big thing too, because a lot of people have complaints with other headsets that just having them on your body, if your receiver's on your right side and the phone sits in your left pocket, that you keep losing connection for some systems. This one has no problem with that whatsoever. So big plus there. Cons. Biggest con, again, the adjustable clips for the wire management fall off. Again, it's a minor thing for me simply because I want mine all the way down anyway. And it's a real quick, easy fix to just get your crazy glue to put a couple drops there and just anchor them permanently. So I like that. The other thing is the blue light. This light right here, when it's connected to your phone, lights up blue and flashes once in a while. Typical, classic of Bluetooth headsets. The biggest problem I have with this is when it's flashing at night, it's right under your face, and you get that blue glint off your face over and over again. It can get maddening, and there's no way to disable that. So that's a big flaw for me. I don't like it. But again, simple solution is tuck it under your shirt collar, and that will dampen it out for you. So it's not the end of the world. It's just one of the things that really kind of drives me nuts. Finally, again, the magnetic holders. These things they don't have enough gusto to hold on to this. I really wish they would have put a bigger magnet in, or at the very least redesign this so that they have a better cover over these nubs, so they can't so easily get brushed and knocked off. That would be a big plus for me in there. So that's pros and cons of it. Again, you can find this over at Amazon for $21.99. They go under the manufacturer name of SoundPEATS. I'll have all links and details in the show notes below here. So that's the my review of the SoundPEATS Q800s. I definitely call this a buy. Thank you much. Bye. And
Nice.
we're back. So hello again. So those were the SoundPEATS Q800s. I really like them. I really, really do. And they're cheap. They're all of $22, and they work really well. So I like them. Anyways, we have used up all of our time tonight, and I do appreciate you guys hanging there with us. And Talks, I cannot thank you enough for jumping in here tonight. Unfortunately, our other guest had to cancel at last minute, and Talks was willing to jump in and try to get up to speed on what we're going to be talking about here and help out. So, Talks, what's going on with you? What's coming up?
Well, a lot more music is coming up, really. I've been working on a medium-sized project that I'm quite happy with. And yes, there's a your name is not Jamendo. Warp just put my Jamendo page up on the screen. I see. So this is where, whenever I share music, this is kind of where I share it. In case you don't know, Jamendo is a music sharing site. And the music is shared under Creative Commons licenses.
Kind of like SoundCloud?
Yeah, kind of like SoundCloud. It looks more like SoundCloud lately, but this is all Creative Commons. I don't know what SoundCloud does.
Gotcha. Okay.
Demando also doesn't limit me to 200 stupid minutes or something like that with a free account.
Gotcha. Okay. And just so everybody knows, Creative Commons, at least the base Creative Commons, basically what Talks is saying is it's you can use his music as long as you give him attribution for it. You don't alter it. Don't call it your own.
Yeah, well, actually, the base Creative Commons license, CC BY, which is what my music is licensed under, you can alter it.
Oh, okay.
If it's ND, you'll see a little 2 lines. That one you can't alter. And
Gotcha.
that actually also includes, just to warn you guys, that includes YouTube videos. You can't make a video and put that a CC BY ND video in it.
I learned something today.
Yeah, I would not have known that.
Well, there you go. See, I learned something today. Do you have anything else going on with you, Alex, besides the music? Come back and build that goddamn metro station?
Maybe not. I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind. I'm not sure that's one that's overly interesting to me lately.
Hey, you gotta follow your passions. I haven't honestly been doing that much in the way of gaming videos. A lot of stuff that's still rolling on my channel at the moment here is a whole bunch of backlog.
Oh yeah.
So I basically kind of gotten to a point where it's like, okay, what am I doing now? And this actually this podcast is one of the things I'm kind of doing now. I'm kind of shifting gears, doing more media stuff. So I totally understand.
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to promote besides the music?
Yeah, sure. I'll the Jamendo link, obviously, Warp is going to put that down in the description. 461-335 is the number if you really want it. But
that's catchy. I like that. It's very catchy.
Yeah, it is kind of catchy, isn't it? My central kind of hub is the link that is down here, youtube.com/addftoxic. That's my YouTube page. That's where I post gaming videos whenever I make gaming videos. If I the music that I'm working on right now, I plan on releasing that in a video. I also do some album overviews to kind of talk about the background of some of the music. And there is links there to my Twitter and my Jamendo. Twitter's a little bit quiet, but occasionally I'll post there something funny, some sort of programming joke, a stupid line of code I wrote, if true, do nothing. Or if I play a Minecraft map and fail on the recording but still want to recommend it to everybody, there's a link to that there too. To that point, I do highly recommend a Minecraft map twice.
There you go.
Just so you know.
So yeah, you heard it here first. He's one of those dirty code monkeys.
Yeah, I am.
Very good, man. And like Talk said, I will have all of the links to his music site, his YouTube site, and to Twitter in the show notes below, so you can check him out there. I definitely encourage you follow, even though he doesn't post very often. I don't either, but when he does, I'm sure it's comic gold. So definitely get stuff out of there.
That and Monster Cat podcast type.
Yes, I do love Monster Cat podcast. That's some really good music. Anyways, so again, thank you so much, Talks. I really do appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. I've always had so much fun recording with you, Talks, when we do Minecraft videos back in the day. It was always the most fun I've ever had. So this is a chance to come back and do it again. It's making me happy.
Yeah, just something that's more interesting.
Yeah. So, as for me, as you guys know, I'm doing the BRG podcast here, and I'm hoping to have more guests like Talks here come on with me and talk about some of the topics we love to talk about. I do have another thing coming up, hopefully very soon here. I'm going to be doing interviews with BRGers and other people around the new media environment. So hopefully those will start coming up pretty soon here on the Bottle Rocket Gaming YouTube channel. Of course, for me, myself, you can check me out. I've got two different YouTube channels. One is my YouTube gaming channel, which is WarpedJester Gaming. You can find that over at WarpedJester or youtube.com/WarpedJesterGaming. Yep, right there below my little beautiful face. You can also go over to youtube.com/WarpedJester. That is my it was my personal website for a long time. You can see the art's not exactly up to snuff here. You'll find pictures of my little kids and their choirs and whatnot. But you will also see other things such as the Q800 review you just saw, as well as some other things like an unboxing for the holiday Google Fi holiday, and unboxing for Google Fi's care package, things like that. So more of my kind of non-gaming related stuff, rants and so on. You can see me go off the hilt on all kinds of random ass crap. So if you want to hear me rant and monologue, that's the place to go. And of course, I also do have the Twitter's account, and I do the Twitters once in a while. I'm one of those old fart curmudgeon people that doesn't really understand or get the whole 140 word limitation crap. So I don't post there too often, but it is a good place to go to if you like to get your news bits from there. I do post updates regarding releases of videos on my gaming channel to that one. So feel free to catch me on there if you'd like. And of course, as always, again, BRG, BotRocketGaming.com. Definitely head over and check us out. We are a wonderful, wonderful community of people that love to get together and do collabs and gaming events and all kinds of good stuffs. And likewise, if you just want to meet and greet, find good people to do music, like Talks here. Again,
Or Seshi.
Or Seshi, I guess, absolutely. So I mentioned Seshi last time. Map making, we've got Lance and BDA who do maps. We've got Ruark, who's our sysadmin that I've recommended to Etho to fix his mod thing.
Ruark's also a recipe crazy guy.
Yeah, well, I don't hold it against him. And of course, you have our Patreon page. You want to go over there. But yeah, definitely, if you're into gaming, if you're into new media, if you just want a community to hang out with and go do stuff with in games, come check us out. We do a lot of different games. We are a multi-game platform. So head on over to BotRocketGaming.com and sign up. And we'll talk to you then. Again, guys, thank you so much. Talks, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thanks.
Thanks. Anyways, guys, take care. Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good life.